Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and I'm done moving. I just got to wait for Packers. House is all packed up down in El Paso. Moving everything up here right now. I got an air tag that I dropped in a box, so I've been following my shipment. It's down by San Antonio right now, so still quite a ways away, but we should be getting all of our furniture tomorrow. I'm still on the mobile setup, but we're here. We're ready to go. I got the team. I got the alumni. I got a system. I've got internet. That's an important factor. And we've also got some Bitcoin sell-off going. I'm going to talk about why you guys should not be too worried about this and why right now might be some opportunities to pick up before the next movement. We're going to look at all of this stuff, hit some key levels of support, watching to see if that holds and continues to hold. And we're going to talk about that level that I dropped on you on a rectangle box. Little box action last Friday. We're going to talk about that level because guess where we are? Right there again. So without any further ado, you guys know what time it is. Everyone take your seats, take your seats, take your seats. Class is in session. Let's get it. All right, guys, welcome to the Morning Market Report. Army Piper is back. OC held it down, but I'm back to run this thing. Let's go see what we can do, though. We got OC and I in the house together. What's up, OC? How you doing, man? I'm glad to be back. I'm back, bro.
It's fantastic. What a day, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity to host the show. And also, I'm glad that you're back. And most importantly, I'm glad that you're finished moving. I think, well, when I moved, the stress and everything, but when you get to settle down, it's like, sweet home, right? So
Facts.
hopefully you are in that stage. But
Facts.
also, your moving is not quite there, so maybe you have a secondary run up where you're gonna start placing your furniture. So you'll have to let me know how that goes.
Well, I know how I'm going to set everything up pretty much. The wife told me where everything goes. So that's a pretty easy one. Where's my... There we go. That's how that works. But I will be glad to get all of my shave stuff because I am in bad need of a shave. All the work that's been done there, absolutely crazy. Shout out to Alex O Crypto, bringing in the Otta gang. Look, I'm wearing the OG shirt today, even, man. I said, I got my stuff. I got my clothes here all together because I picked up the rest of my stuff from El Paso and I threw on my OG t-shirt. I had to dust it off a little bit and put on the OG shirt for this debut back here. So shout out to the Otter gang. I appreciate y'all being here. Guys, dropping the Otters in the chat. Let's go. So yeah, real quick update before I get into the news and everything. So we got the house all set up. I had to go buy a bunch of furniture. Lots of crazy furniture because this house is much bigger. My last living room was octagon shaped. It was step into the octagon, but it didn't hold a lot of furniture. And so this new living room that I'm in the Discord, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough with everybody just to show you the new house sometime this coming week as we're getting everything set up. But yeah, my living room here is about 3 times larger. So I had to go buy a couch and then of course had a bigger wall. I had a set placement for a TV in the previous house, and the new one have a massive wall. So of course I had to go get a bigger TV. And if I was going to get a new TV, my wife said, I want the frame, the Samsung frame. If you guys have seen it, looks like artwork. It's really cool TV actually. But they have the new 2025 Frame Pro out. So we picked up an 85-inch one of those. Overall, guys, I need these markets to pump. I want to need this Bitcoin, listen to me. I'm going to need you to pump because with the down payment on this house that we had to put in, which was about $200,000, which is okay. I took profits from my Bitcoin and put it into another hard asset. So I just reinvested that money, really, is what I did. But I'm also about $30,000 in on furniture for this house. So I'm done. I'm done shopping. I told the wife we're done. And she said, we're done when I say we're done. And I said, okay, well, please, can we be done soon? So looks like we are getting close to that level to get it all set up. But yeah, it's been a run. Where's my bedroom username said? Where's my bedroom? Username, you always got a place to stay, man. Drew said first world problems. It is first world problems. I agree. But, as many times as I've slept on a cot in a sleeping bag in the Middle East with sandstorms and mortars incoming and, living in a tent with 12 dudes that don't know what hygiene is, I believe that I've earned my right to have first world problems be my only problems. So Frank the Tank in the house right now. We got Buck in here. He said, is Piper overcompensating with his TV? No, I just have a big living room and I can't see. So, not being able to see a smaller TV from across the massive living room, you need a big TV. That's what it is. BC Port Corp with the $2 super chat said, glad Piper is back. I was having withdrawals. BC, I'm back, bro. I'm back. And I missed your beautiful beard too. Dave Brumbelow in the house. We got the Brumblebee in here with us, waving over there to Alex. So Crypto Mike Play is in here with us. Alexandra G, my lovely mod queen. I'm so glad to have you back. I talked to Alexandra G actually while I was in my move process. So we got Drew in here with us. Who else we got? Who else we got in the chat? LBC. So much drama in LBC. I miss you, man. Drew said, welcome back, Piper. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shemetris. I jack your name up all the time. I apologize. But the lovely Shemetri Shake is back. I appreciate you being here. All right, let's go get into this news. I don't think I missed anybody there. Oh, bloody cripple. I see that there. All right. Sounds like Kandahar. Been there too. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Let's go jump into the news, OC, talk about some stuff over there, and then we will bring back around and look at these charts. We got Bitcoin. That is the wrong button. Wrong button. Mobile setup, guys. I'm sorry. I'm out of practice. We're going to get back in here. Let's go get into the news, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what we're seeing here on these charts, because Bitcoin kind of sitting in a range right now. So, all right. Nope, that is not the news. How about this one? That's the news. That's a chart, but we got the news on this chart too. Let's go in here and get into the news, guys. Looking at the crypto risk indicators right now, I don't normally talk about this one. Normally, these stay down here in the very low numbers here on the crypto risk indicators from the awesome and amazing Into the Cryptoverse. But we do have on-chain, you guys, on-chain starting to get into neutral zone. And I have a feeling this has to do with miners. I'd have to dig in on this and really find out like what is the breakdown within the on-chain. But we're starting to see risk indicators get into the danger zones up here in the 70% range. So looking at Bitcoin's current crypto market cap, I should say, sitting at $3.264 trillion. Trend on that is about $3.918 trillion. So we're undervalued currently on crypto, about 16.69%. A lot of that, I have a feeling, has to do with altcoins. I think so. I think that's why we're seeing such a big percentage there difference because Bitcoin is really picking it up. So I know I'm messing stuff up, Buck. I'm sorry. Let's go down here and look at Bitcoin's current risk level, sitting at 57.7%. I did drop an update for Darren Does Things in our Discord earlier. He asked for an updated snapshot of Bitcoin's current risk levels for the DCA Piper plan. It's how we do our weekly setup on, hey, this is your DCA plan for this week. And it's a long-term flipping of Bitcoin and some altcoins. So right now we're sitting at 57.7. That's still a 2x DCA, which means your weekly DCA times 2, right? And that's how we do that. So we're going to talk about that, Eric Wallen, because that's some funny stuff, bro. And yeah, that is what we got there. Looking at Bitcoin dominance right now, guys. With stable coins, we're at 63.47%. Without stables, take them away, we're at 68.45. So you can see Bitcoin dominance making a return there. You can see a little pump up there, getting some life into it. Looking at the fear and greed index for Bitcoin this morning, we are at 61. We're still sitting in greed, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. You know, when that greed starts to do its thing, that we do get a little bit of sell off. We hit greed, holding it for a while, and now we're getting some sell off. So. All right, let's go over here. I want to talk about liquidations. We're going to look at this, and then we're going to get into a couple of articles, TradFi side. Look at the past 24 hours here. 239,719 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations came in at $1.12 billion, guys, in the past 24 hours. $1 billion worth of money gone, handed over to market makers, and they took it. So the largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was Bitcoin, guys. It was $201 million. So holy cannoli, man. Holy balls. Put some holy balls in the chat for that one. $200 million liquidation. A lot of people just were dead set that markets were going to continue up. And I keep telling you guys, no matter what happens, we still haven't had a change in what is actually going on macro-wise. And then on top of that, we're not going to see rate cuts anytime soon, in my opinion, continuing to see that trend re-strengthen that position. But overall, we are seeing that there is... there's always going to be these little black swans too. So don't put everything on and get liquidated. Don't be that guy. Watch Alex O Crypto in the morning. He will talk to you about risk management. He will talk to you about trade setups, and he will show you how to set a stop loss. So that's what you need to do. Right now, let's go and check out the crypto bubble, see how they're looking here on the daily. Lots of red. I want to give this a refresh. There we go. Lots of red on the daily, even on the hourly. We're starting to see some pullback. There are some green bubbles on here, but a lot of them are sitting in the red. Looking at these price point levels right now, we're at $104,545 on Bitcoin currently, down about 2.5%. Guys, look at Ethereum, down 8.3%, down at $2,500 again. XRP's down 5%. BNB holding up well, only down 1.9, but Solana down 9%. Dogecoin down 7%. That's what I'm saying. That big 17% that we were talking about here, almost 17% undervaluation, has to do with these altcoins just selling off like crazy. 7.7% on Cardano, 9.8% on Sui. Chainlink is down 8.7%, very far off from an $800 level. So not happening there either. What else we got in here in the top 20? Stellar Lumens is down 6.2. Avalanche dropped 3 spots to number 17, down 10.5. Toncoin's down 7.9. Shiba Inu down 7.4. And HBAR rounding out the top 20, down 9.5%. Litecoin. OC, I know you love your Litecoin, man. It took a 6.4% hit there, so apologies for that, my friend. Let's go jump over and see what we're looking at on the market. We are no longer in pre-market. This is CNBC giving us these TradFi numbers, guys. Dow Jones currently down 1.53%. S&P's down about 1% right now. And the NASDAQ down 1.15%. It was trying to make a move. The NASDAQ was trying to get a pump up. And then lo and behold, it turned around, reversed, flipped on us, went down, and brought the entire markets down with it. With that, the VIX, that is the volatility index, it is above 20, and that is not a good place to see that at. It's in the green and up 14.4% today, meaning we could see a lot of volatility today. Don't freak out too much about it, guys, because Europe was all red last night. All of Europe market, Asian markets, all red last night. The Nifty 50, the Nikkei, Shanghai, all of it down and down in the red, right? If we go over and look at bonds are pumping back up again. Something we don't really want to see. That 10-year Treasury bond for U.S. up back to 4.4%. And if this thing gets close to 5, it's a worrisome. It's a wall of worry. But it also makes it very difficult for the markets to really get any good flow of money flow, liquidity getting locked up here, quantitative tightening continuing. Oil on this war talk, we're getting a lot of talk about oil and it's pumping up here. Guys, I don't think that there's a lot of people talking about oil hitting $100 a barrel. I think that would before we get there, that whole multi-billion or trillion, whatever deal it was that Trump made with Saudi Arabia. I think that we're going to see that agreement has some stuff in it that gets kicked in, and Saudi Arabia will offset and start pumping in some more barrels of oil. So we should see oil start to settle back down. But right now it is green and it is pumping. Once they turn on and start putting out some more oil for us over there in Saudi Arabia, we should see this number settle back down. But gold, absolutely taking advantage of this as a safe haven move. Gold is at $3,454 right now, moving back into that $3,500 range, and it is up. Silver, it's down, but it's at $36, which is a absolute crushing move on silver there to the upside, even with this pullback still holding that $36 range. Copper is down a little bit. Platinum and palladium also down. Look at platinum, down almost 5%, guys. So, and I think that's it on the TradFi side. I want to jump over here and talk about this. Let me see here. Yeah, today, this morning, we got these numbers that came in from the Michigan Consumer Sentiment. If you guys don't know what this is, it's University of Michigan. They do this whole survey where they put together what is the U.S. consumer, us, the people, what is their sentiment of the economy. They were expecting that this was going to be up just slightly or even down slightly on the forecast, down by 0.1%, slightly up. Guys, came in really good. Consumer sentiment is pretty strong right now, despite everything going on the macro side. So this should give us a reflection on Monday morning. So even if we have a downside today, I think by Monday morning, we're going to see people reflect back and go, you know, those numbers were actually kind of good. We've seen war before. This is nothing new. And I think that we'll have a Monday rally on this news. Next week, guys, for the economy, we're going to be looking on Monday at the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. That's going to be coming out. Previously was at negative 9.2. Expected to still be in the negative, but not as bad. So that is an upside move there of about 1%. Could see that next week on Monday. The one I want to be watching next week, though, guys, besides retail sales, which right now is expected to be static, maybe even a little bit better, the one that I'm watching next week is right here on Wednesday. It's going to be FOMC week, and we're going to have that on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to get that rate decision, and then we're going to get Jerome Powell coming out and doing a 30-minute chit-chat. So probably going to head over and watch Alex O trade that live. So make sure you guys tune in over there next Wednesday. Talking about those rate cuts and rate hikes and what we can expect to see next week on Wednesday, guys, looking right here at the June date here. Are you going to load for me? You're going to load? That would be great. CME group. I appreciate you. Right now, guys, we're looking at 96.9%. So almost 97% chance of no rate hike next week. I mean, no change. So a pause on the rates. 3.1% chance of a rate hike. July, we're looking at a 76.9% chance of a pause, continuation, no change. I don't think we see anything until September at the earliest, and maybe December. That's what I'm expecting to see. They want to see what's going to happen with these inflation numbers off of tariffs. We haven't seen anything as of yet. So fingers crossed that continues on, but they're really watching that closely. And as of right now, job numbers are coming in pretty decent, so we're not seeing any sell-off in the markets or any movement of the sentiment there for, hey, labor numbers are weakening, we've got to cut rates. We're not seeing any of that right now, so I do believe we might get one. I do think we'll get one rate cut this year. We could possibly see two. And then Israel attacks Iran, guys. And this is the whole war thing that I was talking about. If you guys are not aware, Israel attacked Iran, did an airstrike, killed one of their key guys. Israel launched a series of airstrikes on Iran, escalated the long-simmering conflict between the two nations, spooking the markets. The strikes targeted sites linked to Iran's nuclear enrichment program. If you guys aren't aware, Trump has also been pushing on Iran for about 60 days to make a deal on the nuclear deal with Iran. So not getting any action on that. What happens? Israel turns around, starts striking an area. That's a pretty interesting video. We'll check it out in a second, too, of that actual airstrike. So oil prices soared amid fears of a broader regional war and concerns over supply outlook in the crude-rich Middle Eastern region. So let's go back over here. Let's take a look here. This is what President Trump made a statement on. I want to talk about that one in a second. So here is what happened. Israeli Defense Forces released a graphic showing the uranium enrichment site located beneath the Natanz nuclear facility in central Iran, which was heavily targeted during today's strike by the Israeli Air Force. They launched onto this site, and they said underground they were doing uranium enrichment. They probably were. Who knows? But this is the place that they struck, and they also hit one of the key leaders. Coffee break, 1 second. In the Iranian military. So interesting that, yeah, they did some pretty good graphics here on this thing and what they're doing there. But you guys can see those are the enrichment of the rods over there in Israel. So, or in Iran that Israel did the strike on. All right, let's go back and take a look at what happened here. So, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So Trump made a comment on this. He said, President Trump calls Israel's attack on Iran excellent. It's excellent. There's more to come, a lot more. This is what's making people get worried right now. Okay. What does he mean? Is he implying that we will assist? Is he implying that meet Kevin alerted me to short, Alexandra G said. Or is he saying that, yeah, I'm not against shorting right now. I just don't think that people realize how quickly this thing can rebound. We're going to break all that down in a second. Or is he implying that Israel is going to do more stuff? He also issued his first official statement on it. So what we're seeing is a lot of sell-off because of all of this stuff going on. But I have to agree with Crypto Billy here. He said, watch this rebound. It's going to be unbelievable. I think it will be. I think it'll shock a lot of people at the least. And then Cloud9 Markets, I've been following this guy for a while. He said, repeat after me. Wars are bullish on markets. Usually when a new war starts, markets panic and the market tanks, right? Then once the news settles in, the markets bounce back. We're in panic mode right now, so you know what to do. Hashtag BTC. So that is what I've been watching there on that. Is there anything else that I had in here that I wanted to talk about? Note that's on Bitcoin. Let's go back over here to the dual cam and talk about this. Because OC, we've seen in the past, why are you not going to dual cam? There we go. We've seen in the past going all the way back to, Ukraine, and then the Israel and the Houthi and going, that whole attack, right? And the Gaza Strip and the Palestine and everything, right? And then it goes back to Ukraine and Russia. And then it's, India and Pakistan. And just the list goes on and on and on. And we've seen this time after time after time, that the markets go into panic mode. We get this big sell-off, and the smart trader, the smart investor starts watching for these levels of support, and that's where they start to set those limit orders out, ladder in your limit orders on the way down. I'm not overly concerned about these markets coming down right now. I actually think that I've even gone as far as to add some more Bitcoin outside of the DCA plan this morning. I put it on Alex O Crypto Show and said, I'm looking to pick up another $10,000 this morning of Bitcoin just to add to it, because I think that we are going to get a pump rally out of this. So that 10K is not part of my actual hodl bag. It's just going to be, I'm going to flip some Bitcoin. I need to remake some money. I got 30K of furniture that I have to pay for. So let's let that make some money, and then I'll take it back out. But OC, your thoughts? We've seen this before, right? This is nothing new. It's just another one of those gray swans, and markets are selling off on it. And this is where opportunity presents itself. So what are your thoughts on this, man?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is nothing to be worried about, like the doomsday or crumbling of the crypto market at this point. But of course, I do expect big wicks going up and down, right? So something that I want to, if you may push to my charts really quickly, something that I've been showing around, which is I believe important, is just a big perspective on what is going on in the markets, right? So we lost the trend line, which was a little bit worrying, right? But also losing the trend line doesn't mean that we're losing, that we're going down like completely, right? In fact, what we're doing at this point is that we are making a range. So that is basically what I wanted to show, right? In a range, we are not going to be going all the way down and all the way up. But maybe in the worst case scenario, if we have a 50% retracement, well, we might be seeing ourselves around 97, 93 for the worst case scenario, which wouldn't be, surprisingly bad. I mean, we're just out of, there we go. So basically, this is a range that we're forming. And if we keep going into this range, well, then, as you can see, we hit some support. The worst case scenario will be, or the first area to look into for a flat range will be somewhere around 100K, the previous area that we bounced. So if we're seeing right now bouncing back and forth, right, through that dynamic reactor, well, we're just going to be adjusting on the new trend lines that we draw. So again, if we're talking about how low could it go, I'm going to be looking between 93 and 94 for maybe a fake out. And this is something that is not new. I mean, if we go back in time, we just got out of this ginormous range, right? And we can see that we hit lows of around, and let me just measure that really quickly, of around 30% on the same range, right? So this wouldn't be so surprising that we get that same retracement. I don't think that it's going to go that low below sub 90, but I believe that we could go for the worst case scenario somewhere around here and not within one single movement. I want to show you just that structure really quickly before I push you over to you. So we lose a trend line in here, right? Let me just make that as a better trend line. There we go. We lost the trend line right here, right? Losing the trend line doesn't mean that we're going to the doomsday, but we did retrace. We did went back up, right? And what happens over time is that we create a trend line for that range. I don't also expect that this range is as big of a deal like this one, or it takes that long. And also remember what I showed you guys back in the day. So how do I measure the retracements in here? And I did not tell you at the time, but now that I have revealed this is a Persian Fibonacci retracement, right? What we're looking at, it's at 50% retracement and a 1/3 retracement. So the very area that from or to, it was, there we go, the 1/3 retracement right here, right here, right here. And finally, we did touch the 50% retracement 3 times. Even we went a little bit farther to the golden pocket, right? So as you can see, this is not as dramatic because we're constantly making those lower highs and lower lows without actually making a trend. So we're just slightly tilted downwards. So if you have anything like in here, and I do expect for this to be not 1, 2, 3 peaks up, but 1, 2 maybe, and that will be it. So basically bursting out of here. This is what I do expect out of the upcoming range. Well, then I think that we're not that far away. We are on the second one right now. And if we're lucky enough, we might have this sort of movement hitting at 97, 93. So as you can see, it's not that big of a deal creating a bear flag, as long as there is no, I would say, actual attack or confrontation directly to the U.S. Forces. Unless we see that, I don't think that we're going to be seeing a bigger, like deep, like within the V-shaped recovery, like a black swan going much lower below 93. So unless we see that like front to front confrontation, I don't think that we're going to have this one in here. But still, I don't think that that will be the end of the cycle. But yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, although I do see maybe coming somewhere around 93, 97. Not that worrying. We just need to keep a tap on the pulse. Muted?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I was muted. Another thing to keep in mind on that too is that we do have a CME gap that's still open down there. Let's go over here to BTC1 and take a look. That level of the CME gap that is unfilled, guys, it comes in from 22 April, and it comes in at about $91,000 to $92,000. So lining up there with what OC was just saying, CME gap still unfilled from back in April. So let's jump over here. There's my mute button. Cool. All right, we can talk now. Let's talk about the DCA, because someone said here is line of sight on crypto. LOS Crypto said, he said, so the question is 97. No, it's crypto shifts. The question is 97K or 92K. I think that 97K is a key critical support level. It's going to be our 50 day, I think it is. Let me look here on my chart. 97K is going to be my golden pocket. Yeah, so let's go over here. I wanted to look at this, and then we'll come over and talk about the DCA plan and why it's working so well. Yeah, look at 97K here. That's my golden pocket. We do have 101,881. That's going to be a key level. That's going to be your 786 fib. But you can see our 50-day simple moving average here is what caught that support bounce on that big wick. That would have been a great entry. I did not catch that as a trade. I was moving. But we do have a reversal to the upside. You can see the last time we printed our reversal to the upside, we did get a little bit of a move up to that value area high of the fixed range volume profile that's coming in from back here on the beautiful cloud. And right now we are sitting at a pretty decent level of support. So rejecting actually off of that node. But we do have that level coming in right there at 101, another volume nipple on the fixed range volume profile. So looking at 97K though, that takes us back down to the point of control line right here between our 0.66 GAN level and our 618 fib level, aka Piper's golden pocket. So watching that there, oscillator did give us an upside movement there, printed the oversold, and then also got a VWAP uptrend. So I think there's some potential here on the oscillators that I'm watching. But let's go talk about the DCA Piper plan. And if you guys don't know, this is the whole reason for the memberships here on our Discord. The $5 membership gives you access to all of this stuff. And this is what I drop every Monday. It's these charts here. I go through, and we have an exfil plan on this also, so you're not just DCAing. There's a take profit plan at the 70% wristband. But we put this out on going all the way back to February, I believe. And this is what he's talking about there in the chat. That would be line of sight on crypto. He said that if you had followed this DCA plan, you would still be in the green right now. Absolutely. Matter of fact, we put this out this week as an update for the best days in the past since January 1st to buy Bitcoin for the most likely return levels, meaning that you're buying at the low, whether it was a followed rally. And Friday and Saturday was the two, Wednesday and then Friday and Saturday. So it's looking like this week's Friday, Saturday buy-in absolutely playing out too. This is the type of stuff we're putting out over there on Bitcoin. And then, of course, we got all the altcoins. We got Render, Litecoin, HBAR, XLM, Link, Sui, ADA, Doge, Sol, XRP, and Ethereum. That we're all dropping these in there also every week. So shout out to LOS Crypto. I'm glad to know that you are crushing it, man, on your DCA Piper plan. I'm glad you're following us. We got a thing in the Army. It says lead the way, and it says follow me, right? So or follow me and lead the way, right? So that's what we're doing here. I'm saying follow me, and you guys are just following the Piper plan. So, all right, let's go OC and talk about a couple of things that I'm seeing on the chart. Let's go over here to News Cam. We are there, and let's go talk about this article and these liquidation levels, because I'm watching the heat map here on the 1 week, and you can see we don't really have a whole lot of heat sitting beneath us. It's all sitting right here around the $111,000 range. If we put this onto some higher time frames, like the 3-month, you will see that we do have levels down there coming in. One at 92 right there. That's really the closest one. Beyond that, it's about $100,000. So nice psychological bounce level. That would be the levels that I'm watching. But typically, price action tends to gravitate. That tends to gravitate and move right towards that hottest zone that is the nearest target. And that right now is sitting at about 111. So it's going to be interesting to see if we come down and maybe touch that 100,000, grab the liquidity that is sitting there before heading up to that, or are we going to just crash right on through that and go down and hit that 92 level, hit that CME gap, close it out. All things to keep an eye on, in my opinion. Looking here at what we got on some news articles, though, Bitcoin bears back in control after $110,000 rejection. What comes next? And they're looking down here. I just want to get to the quick part of this before OC jumps in and does some altcoins for you guys. But Bitcoin rejection at 110 is a part of the plan. The Bitcoin price rejection has no doubt triggered a wave of panic among investors. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That's what we do here at the Academy. Many of whom believe that this is the end of the cycle. However, a crypto analyst has suggested that a pullback is part of the larger plan as the largest cryptocurrency by market cap moves on its way up to new all-time highs. In the analysis, they explained that the digital asset is currently at a point where it is undergoing significant distribution. And I do believe that that is part of the risk indicator that I showed you at the beginning of the on-chain data. The pullback and in and of itself is no cause for alarm, as minor corrections after major surges are normal. Absolutely agree. In addition to this, there is a lot of accumulation going on as Bitcoin moves from the hands of old investors into the hands of new investors at a higher cost basis. So people taking profit, other people FOMOing in and getting higher levels, getting trapped up there. So, but they expect that the accumulation is going to move Bitcoin into a next bullish wave. And this bullish wave is the next step in the trend. They're talking here about $130,000 target. So that would be a very interesting thing to see pop in. Look, I've got messages popping in for you there. Awesome. My gas bill's due, guys. Anyway, Bitcoin price hit 130,000 after this breakout. But going even further than that, we do have another article here that I saw this morning that has some interesting stuff in it. Bitcoin's most reliable signal just flashed. Next stop, $170,000. It's not Bitcoin's, it's not OC's $500,000 level, but it is definitely interesting. Let me get rid of that. Go away. Thank you, sir. Interesting level there to see popping in at $170,000. And we'll take a look at what that looks like on our higher time frame chart too. Hash ribbon logic is mechanical. When the 30-day moving average of network hash rate climbs back above the 60-day average after a period of minor capitulation, which I'm going to show you, on-chain observers read it as an all clear that forced selling pressure has exhausted. So in the past, this translation has coincided with an aggressive spot accumulation visible on-chain and derivatives position. And again, we talked about at the beginning, on-chain metrics were getting pretty high there. So at the time, at press time, BTC was down 3.1% in the past 24 hours, trading at about $104,000. And they are talking about, where is it at here? Yep, and yet it tightens. Still, Astronomer's Zero's chart underscores an objective fact. In the last half decade, the hash ribbon buy has never misfired. Whether history's rhythm repeats or merely rhymes, traders are watching the $170,000 mark on the chart as the next test of record. Let's jump over and take a look at this chart. And let's take a look at the hash ribbon. It's going to be on here. There we go. And you can see we had that buy indicator that fired on 19 May, about a month ago, after getting into the capitulation. You guys recall, I talked about this and said, look, on the weekly, we hit the sell, we went into capitulation, and we fired back in on that buy indicator. And this is what they're talking about that could lead us into that $170,000 range. Where would that $170,000 range fall in our chart here? That would be right near our golden pocket here above, and we did pull into it back here in March of 2024, rejected out of it. It was our resistance here in December 2024. If we're to get back up in that level and punch in, guys, that $170,000 right inside of our golden pocket. If you guys are wondering where these come from, Eric Wallen knows because he's been following this for a while. This is the entire history of Bitcoin captured in a fib channel, and it has rang pretty true this entire cycle going all the way back to our bottom in 2022 that we have traded inside of this channel between the platinum pocket and the golden pocket. But overall, our targets, tops, have been near the golden pocket. So even getting close to that would be, let's see here, what would that put us near right now? About $155,000. So even that is going greater than that $130,000 call. And that's what I'm watching. Again, that hash rate ribbon though, saying that this can go much higher after firing off that buy signal. Guys could be looking at a pretty substantial move if we hold support. Taking a look at our daily metrics here, oscillators real fast before we hand it over to OC. Guys, I'm watching this 50-day again, simple moving average, 50-day, holding pretty true right here, giving us our bounce. We also did it back here in early June. But right now, we are printing a red histogram. We have fired the MACD normalized signal cross, meaning that we could see those downside moves, maybe to that $92,000 range. But divergence did print here right at the top. Perfectly on 11 June, Chart Prime's oscillator printed a bearish divergence and sent us down. Money flow started to curve and volume is still sitting low. I talked about this last week to you guys and said, look, volume being down like this is not a good sign. But if you take a look and see, I want to show you, we're starting to flatten out here, which means we could run into an uptrend move on volume, setting us up after we hit support and test it for an upside move. We are sitting about mid-level on the RSI primed on the daily. And so do have some more room to go down here. If we fall down to that $97,000 range, guys, there's a huge cluster right here. This cluster that I'm watching, this is the quantum reactor. This is the dynamic reactor in the 200-day simple moving average, giving us a range between $95,000 to $97,000, critical and massive support level for Bitcoin to get a bounce. And that is what I am watching on Bitcoin, on the DCA plan, what I'm watching on the charts, and just strapping in, guys, strapping in. I'm not worried about what's going on right now. We get market sell-off data all the time, and the people that are not scared and prepared for those levels to engage and pull your trigger and jump that money in, then you are the ones that are going to be the winners in the long run. Shout out to T.I. Joe, Trade Intuition in the house. Drop some bingo bango in the chat from my man there. And Alexander G, dropping that link there for Chart Prime indicators. Go ahead and check it out below. Appreciate it. Supports the channel, and I appreciate everybody. OC, what do you got for us on some altcoins? We talked about what could happen with Bitcoin, but these alts have been absolutely decimated, man, since December, really. Not seeing it return back to any of the levels that like Bitcoin has. And as I had said a long time ago on the on the DCA Piper plan, I'm really more interested in DCAing in my portfolio into Bitcoin. Said that since January when I took all my profits and restarted my DCA process. But do you think we're going to have a continuation of these alts just struggling, man? They're on the struggle bus. What is it? Steve Ruggles. That's what Alex O Crypto calls him. Steve Ruggles. It's on the Steve Ruggles. It's on struggle bus. So what are you seeing on the alt side, man? Let's kick it over to you. Let's talk about some of those charts.
Absolutely. So let me first give you a little bit of an anecdote, nothing to do with trading, and I'm going to be taking a look at this. And this is because right now it's time to take my booster today. You guys know that I'm a little bit sick, but I'm trying to get a booster. I'm fighting through it. And I do remember once I got invited to a bachelor's party of one of my best friends. Well, I did took my anti-acid pills, but like being at that age, I would consider myself still younger. I don't know if that will be still a thing. Zijan, don't judge me. You're gonna get there, I promise. But then I took it like that, nobody's watching. Took my pill, and all the room went quiet. To my surprise, sorry about that, everyone was looking at me, and then they like, dude, are you taking some and not inviting us? And I'm like, wait a second. And then I pull out my anti-acid thing, and everybody just started, laughing, because we're at that age when we go to a bachelor's party and we need to take anti-acid. So just wanted to bring that up because it's time for me to take my medicine. And I kind of remember that part of my life very, very happily. One of my best friends out there. So other than that, let's take a look at a couple of altcoins in here. I don't think their time to come back, it's going to happen. In fact, if we take a look at, depending on what asset classification we are, like for example, if we're talking about a high classification or high class assets, well then, despite hashtag FFF Ethereum, well then, I cannot deny that it has been playing out very nicely. I mean, we went up, almost took my alert. Not quite there, a short in there, so that's why Ethereum.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Oh yeah, it always does that to me. Like what? Like that was a 0.3% or 29%. So man, that was outrageous. So it doesn't take my entry and then goes the way that I was expecting. So hashtag Ethereum. But so far, we see that despite everything else, it's just collapsing, right? Like for example, Litecoin, BNB, a couple of other things. Well, then this is holding. It is holding. And let me show you usually what happens with this kind of movements. Flat pause of bullish continuation, basically waiting for the dynamic reactor to come. We are a little bit late on that, so let's better start moving. So if not, most likely we're going to get below the dynamic reactor, and that's when we start getting prepared for a possible dump to the downside. Again, not quite a huge drop, I would say, maybe to a 382 on the whole movement scale. But so far, in the localized scale movement to the upside, we are basically breaking through the golden pocket, bouncing off the platinum pocket and trying to go back up. As you can see, I'm expecting to go back at the 50% local retracement before a continuation downwards. Nonetheless, look at that. It seems like we're having a goose head. That goose head, remember, is farther move to the downside to then upside to then a farther move to the downside. Where is the confluence? The confluence, it's right here. We have turned on all of our indicators yesterday, and that's where we started seeing that punch up. So I would say be optimistically cautious. Look into the 4 hours. I would say if you want to scalp, be my guest. Please do it. I mean, just be careful about it. Remember, you need to be proficient. Let's, for example, go to the 5 minutes, right? Let me clear this up. Let me hide this. And don't tell me that this is not scalpable, right? I mean, this is absolutely a tradable, right? I think this is a great possibility to do so. And why not? Let me just get rid of everything here. I mean, I'll just come back to the video to see it afterwards. But we see this trend line. And if I clone this line, we can see that we can actually draw a area of entry, of area of breakout. So far, this is not lost because we're, despite we're losing the trend line, this is not all lost because we can still do a V-shaped recovery. Hopefully we can, but that will be defined by crossing it. So far, what we're expecting is going to be a lower low. So double top, lower low, lower high. If we reject out of here, you know what to do. All right. So how far? This is a great opportunity to start adding the confluence in here with what we just learned, which is Fibonacci. And Piper, I have a request for you. I have an invitation for you. In trading with OC, maybe can you bring me to the there we go, to dual cam. In trading with OC, I would like to, now that we're ending the courses and we are already in advanced trading, where we explain everything like in detail, I would like to invite you to the show for you to do a master class on Fibonacci. If you're available sometime in here, maybe you can let me know and go into the, I don't know, trading with OC and show us your tips, tricks, and what we're not going to be finding out there on how you use Fibonacci.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm getting ready to talk about some Fibonacci's and show you some of that magic. Here you go. There's your hearts. I got your hearts for you. There you go. Let's go talk about this chart because I'm watching this on Circle, actually. If you guys don't know, I been keeping my eye on Circle, the IPO launch for a couple of months here, and it launched last week. It went live, and so I told everybody, I said, look, I'm going to wait for it to pull back a little bit. I got in at $89, so I got in at this pullback right around here. Somewhere in that range right there is where I bought in at, and then it's been holding a pretty good level, and I did do some fibs on here, pulled from the top, retracement down to the bottom, and then that's given us this level. And you can see this 50% line on the fibs have been just fighting right here hard, right, as resistance. But we are getting back up right now. You can see we do have an overbought indication. So, you know, right now we are at a critical level of on these lower time frame. This is a 30-minute chart, so I can get all this data on. But we are starting to push back into money flow to the upside. Looks like volume's coming back in. And so I'm watching some levels. I wanted to know what confluence levels do I have here above us that would be key levels for me to watch. Obviously, we're looking at the 50%. Don't pull out your fib in public. It's rude. Sorry, Crypto Chef. My apologies. What I'm watching here is obviously this 50% level, which is coming in at about $120. I do think we are going to get above that 382 right now, is giving us a wick back and pull. But I'm watching some other things here. If we throw on the Market Dynamics Pro, you can see here, let me hide the fibs. You can see here we are back above our lower golden band. Price does tend to trade within the two gold bands, that blue line being your delta median on the predictive ranges. These are not a lagging indicator. They are a predictive indicator. And so this level that I'm watching here is about $129, okay? Key level, which I find interesting, is that 50% fib. Again, you can see that's laying right there perfectly on top of that delta median. That's about $120. But when we go in and we throw on the fixed range volume profile, guys, we're above the point of control. I think that we're going to run up to about 121. And you remember that 50% fibs coming right here on this delta. What I would like to see is price come in, hit that, retest that delta, and then push up into its upper golden band, returning this up there. I've been dollar cost averaging in on this. My average price is around $92 right now, and this thing is really playing out well. So again, guys, those fib levels, if we're able to get back up into that range of that 129, guess what? that might be a good spot right there at that 786 to see how we react to it. If we pull back, you'll have another chance for entry at about $124. That would be inside of your golden pocket. And if we break on through that and we get a retest on it, guys, you're probably looking at your 187, which would put us back up in here into our previous rejection zone that we had here on 9 June. And if we are to do that, expect a double top, which would put us right here in our, you look right there, you see that line? That is your upper resistance zone on your predictive ranges. So that would be your key major resistance level at 138, which would be a double top. Perfectly placed there for a pullback. But yeah, I'm watching this thing closely. It's been a really good purchase price. And yeah, fibs are telling us everything we need to know. That 50% line, 50% fib, the level to break, in my opinion, on some beautiful Circle internet group. Ticker on that is CRCL, I believe. Let me double check it. Yeah, CRCL stock. And it's the Circle USDC publicly traded company now. So with everything, I've been bullish on this for a while because of all of the regulation going on with stablecoin regulation from the federal government. I figured that Circle, being a U.S.-based company, probably going to be the one to move, and it absolutely has just been crushing the gains. So OC, what time we got? Where we at, man? We're about 9 minutes to go. You got anything else you want to show the people before we head out of here, man? What do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. So let's take a look at some of the classic lists that we're looking into. So right here, I do see a possible opportunity, but so far we need to be a little bit careful still, right? Why? I know like this kind of like, or we know this kind of ranges usually break to the upside, right? But remember, the gold is not where the pattern breaks to more often. It is on the boundary lines, right? Because the boundary lines, look at that, let you buy low, sell high, right? Basically, at this point, what we need to look for this is where it seems like we're having another low, right? Breaking back up. And if we're able to break to the zero line, we're going to be breaking that trend line. It's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go, right? So be patient in this one, because if we keep going downwards, depending on the news, we can still hit some other lower areas in here, so some support and resistances. So first thing that I need to look for is going to be my oscillator. This is going to dictate what I'm going to be doing. If it breaks out, I'm not going to be longing the breakout. I'm going to be longing, shorting the retracement, right? And when I retrace, this is just going to be a quick in and out. And then I'm going to be going to the upside. And remember, this is the 5 minutes. I just wanted to give you a quick trade setup on BNB. So keep an eye on this asset. This might be moving fast. Let's go really quick to the 4 hours. The 4 hours, not looking that bad. Again, this is looking just like Ethereum, so it's holding on. The only thing that I don't like about right here about BNB, it is that we are below the 50% retracement, and that's where we're kind of like staying. So far we have a possible inverted goose head. This is not good, which means slightly move to the upside, right, for then a farther low, which could be making a swing failure pattern, right? So this could be our opportunity to jump in and going above to this area. So I'm going to be adding one of those alerts. Also look at that we have a support zone in there. And also if we start adding some other stuff, you'll see that we have a bigger support area right here. So remember, my alert is not enter here, but take a look at your charts and decide where you're going to be entering, because your entries either are right around the corner or happening as we talk, right? Therefore, if we bounce from here, the next target is going to be the loud order block, right? The loud bearish order block, so on and so forth. We need to look into the range. So let's go to Adam here. Adam, it's been breaking my heart as always. I love this coin, but I also hate this coin. Come on, this was one of my early miners things. So far we are still within the same range. Nothing has changed. We haven't lost the base, the support. So we should be looking into that possibility that we could be going upwards. I wouldn't be longing right now, despite we do have a lot of confidence on our oscillator. But as far as our price action, Yes, we have a big disparity zone, which is a ranging zone. So something like this, something like that, right? So something like that, ranging at this area. But also, I mean, we still have a little bit more to go. So could we maybe do some sweep of the lows? Be careful in this one. I'd rather enter with a little bit of a delay, with a late entry here, and cut out also half of my entry out as we go up. So basically entering here and then exiting here before we touch resistance, right? And move my sub to entry and then trail the rest of it because we have a bunch of resistance here. But also, we could be going farther here with that V-shaped recovery. And this will be Bitcoin driven, and Bitcoin movement will be news driven. So sitting tight again against that news wagon throughout this week or throughout the next upcoming week. Hopefully, Iran and their gang stay quiet. But so far, so good. So far, let me just get rid of this because we had a heads trading here. That was a good one that did play it out. I did not took it, just so you know. Let me clear this up. And we are into a loud order block. That loud order block, look, that is not about the breakout. Fantastic support and retest. With that, I always love to see this book like movements. Look at that, right to the trend line, absorption zone, flip of the ribbon, off you go. That is just fantastic. So far, this is a little bit too late. You might still jump in. Oh, not there. Jump in here, but with a big bunch of risk. Still, I could not suggest, but propose. Remember, we don't do financial advice, but propose. And I'm looking for my long tool. There we go. A possible long here, aiming at this previous low, right? And I'm not going to be adding wiggle room. And that is because if we keep pushing downwards, I want to stay out for a little second so I don't get a further move to the downside, right? And then aiming right between or right below this area of support. So we'll see how that goes. This, by the way,
Target locked. Ready
there
to
you go.
fire.
Boom. I love it. Love it. So basically, this is going to be a 1 quarter entry. This is just because it's XRP. And we know XRP people. Guys, you are awesome. I don't like that much XRP, but it gets me excited to see the community behind it, right? Excellent community. 10 out of 10. So finally, Link and ADA. Leaking data not looking that great in this point. We were expecting to get to this lows first and then breakthrough because we had a slow movement to the downside, and also our next candle was pushing through resistance. Seems like we are holding, right? But look at that. We have a flat flip of the ribbon, right? It's not it is something like this, flattish, right? Like flaccid. So what happens in here? Well, we have a further extension, just like we could be having in here, a further extension. So be careful with Link. My entry points are going to be, once again, alert at 1279, an entry point as we go low, somewhere around 1242. Let's do this a little bit more scientific. And for that, I'm going to be looking for the possible retracement. What's going to be my retracement? Remember, what is my last known trend? My last known trend is bearish. What is my last known point? It is going to be the top, right? So this is my last known point. And what is my speculative bottom is going to be all the way down there. So remember, despite I overshoot to my right, I'm trying to line up the line with the very bottom of that candle. There we go. So far, and let me get rid of, why do I have that many lines? Those are, manual. Oh, that's another Fibonacci. All right. I was not aware that we have Fibonacci and Fibonacci. That's fine.
You got too much Fibonacci on your
second.
plate. You got to eat it all.
Absolutely. Oh man, that is fantastic. Log your fibs, guys. Now I finally can say it. And we're gonna be looking into a possible retracement to my favorite zone, which is a 30%, somewhere overshooting past the 236 over to the 382, so somewhere around here for 1/3. And finally, our next possible in my favorite zone, 0.5, so 50% retracement. So if we get this, well then we could be going back upwards above this area, maybe finding back some support. And if we do, we are going to be continuing upwards. Guys, this is not what I think is going to happen just now. All right. This is my plan B. Just now, I think we're going to have that overshoot to the downside, and then we're going to have that push over. If that happens, oh, sorry about that. If that happens, we're going to be looking into a 0.38. I mean, almost the same zones, but slightly change it. That's what I got. Let me pass it over to you.
Awesome, OC. I appreciate it, man. You got to bounce. You got a class to get to over on Chart Prime. And then we got TA Plus here in a couple of hours, man. I appreciate you being here today, though, OC. I'm going to let you bounce out, and I'm going to give everybody their outro and talk to them about, how to approach today. But I appreciate you, man, and have a great one.
Absolutely. See you guys.
All right, guys. So, that's the show today, guys. Just overall, we've got a lot of scare going on in the markets, but this blood in the streets, I think, is an opportunity. Circle still ripping right now, by the way. And then I just saw this comment made by Darren Does Things. He said he had to head out. Mad love to all. And his name's Darren Does Things. And JR said, later, Darren, enjoy doing things. So shout out to JR and DDT. You guys are awesome, man. I love this community. Guys, just be aware that this market sell-off, there are some key levels of support. We could go a little bit lower, but these are the opportunities that we wait for making money in this market. So, don't forget today, guys, at 3 p.m. Eastern. I know it says 2 p.m. right there. Don't worry about that. That's my time. I'm in Central now. But at 3 p.m. today, go join TradFi with his new sidekick over there, Michael Whitman, doing live trade setup. So go check out Daily Profits with TradFi over there. And I'm going to go ahead and drop this link for you so you guys can go in and hit notifications like I did. It is absolutely, let's go. There we go. Dropped it in there. Good show to check out today. So go tune in and support TradFi on his live stream today. I appreciate the entire Otter Gang joining us over here. I will catch you guys back here Monday morning. We're back. We're back, baby. Back here Monday morning with the morning market report. Don't forget to tune in to OC Trading Live this evening. And then Sunday night, LBC will be kicking it all off with the Asian market open on Sunday night with the Markets After Dark, BC Port Corp. Good morning, crypto. We'll see you guys at 10 o'clock. Trade safe this weekend. Use some stop loss and look for those opportunities, guys. Don't be scared. Be prepared. We'll catch you guys next week. Later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after
Gotta
wheels
pump
fall
those numbers up. Those
low.
are rookie numbers in this racket.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my blood. Now you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude.